Hello students, welcome back to our lesson 1 Sources of History part 2. I hope all of you have watched previous video and have understood about material sources in that video. Now let us start with the second part, that is written sources and oral sources. Written sources, we learn about significant is important historical events in the medieval period from sources like the writing styles of scripts like Devanagari, Arabic, Persian, Modi, etc. As also from the varieties of different languages, Bhurja Patras. Bhurja Patras means, now here you can see the tree in this picture. Bark of these trees was used as paper in ancient time, that is known as Bhurja Patras. So these bark was used to write and keep the things whatever they have to write, and as they used to stay for a longer period of time, still today we can find this Bhurja Patras stored and kept in a proper way. Religious manuscripts. Religious manuscripts are the copies of religious handwritten books. Then treatises. Treatises are the books of law written by people. Edicts. Edicts were an official order issued by a person in authority, that is order by the king. In the picture you can see where the King Ashoka, his orders were written on the pillars which were constructed by him, or even the orders by King Ashoka were written on the stones. Then decrees, an official order that has force of law. Biographies. Biographies are the books written by some other person related to the life of the renowned personality. Paintings, etc. We can gather information about the food items, attire. Attire is a dressing style. Convention and rules of conduct of the people. Now convention and rules means how people have to behave. So it was written and kept at the time of the rulers or the kings. Festivals and about people's life, etc. So thus in the written form all these things were written and kept in the different books which were written in the medieval period. They used to write and keep all the things. So today we can come to know about these things. From these sources, sources of this type are called written sources of history. So all these written sources can be classified in the following category. Now we are going to see one by one which are the written sources and what are their different categories. Let's see. First is documents of proceedings in the courts of king. Now in these old days, whenever there used to be any case or whenever there used to be any problem among the people, they used to go to the king and they used to ask for justice. So at that time, the proceedings or the case whichever was solved by the king, it was written and kept in a form of a document, and that was known as documents of the proceedings in the courts of the kings. Then genealogies or shakavalis. Genealogies are the books which genealogy is the study of families or family history. We can study this in detail with the help of family tree. Shakavali is also tells us about family history. Then next we have correspondence and dispatches. Now in those old days, there were no phones or mobiles in order to communicate with one another. So kings or the people had to write a handwritten letter in order to communicate among one another. And thus these letters which were written, they were known as correspondence or dispatches. Next is judicial verdicts, orders. Now judicial verdicts and orders is like today we have the Indian Constitution. In those days, laws and orders were written and which were to be followed by the people. They were known as judicial verdicts and orders. Then we have treatises and biographies. Treatises are the book of law written by people. The next is travelogue of foreign travelers. In those days, when the foreigners they used to come to India, they used to see in India, they used to observe whatever the life of the people in India is, what are the social conditions of the people in India, and they used to write about all that in their diaries. So that was known as a travelogue of the foreign travelers. And last is chronicles or tawarikhs. Now chronicles are the books written by the people in the chronological order of the events, whatever events had happened. So the books are written in the chronological order, one by one, how the events are happening. So they were known as chronicles or tawarikhs. Now let's see about the further part of the written sources. During this period, travelers from other countries came to India. So as I have already told you all, the travelers they came to India. They have written travelogue or accounts of their travel. So they had whatever they observed in India, they had written about it in their diary. So which we have got in the written form. So some of them are Al-Biruni, Ibn Battuta, Nicola Manucci, etc. So you can see here their picture are there which are shown. So from this we come to know that these were the foreign travelers who had come to India and they had written about the Indian people in their books. Babar's biography, Sri Shiv Bharat, or the Sanskrit biography of Shivaji Maharaj, composed by the poet Parmanand, as well as various other biographies of different rulers and their correspondents, help us to understand the policy and administrative system of rulers and their diplomatic relation with others. So here we can see the biography of the Babar or the biography of Shivaji Maharaj. Now already I have told you all, biography is when somebody is writing about the other person. Now for example, somebody is writing about me, so that will be my biography written by somebody else. So here the biographies which are written about these people, they are still available, from which we come to know about the way of their life, how many battles they have fought, what type of life they were leading, what type of king they were. Along with this, there were many other correspondence, the letters which were written by these rulers to the other rulers. And from all these things we are getting the diplomatic relation. We get to know about their administrative system, what type of administrative or ruling system was there, or what type of political relation this king had with the other people. The next is we are going to see about tawarikh or tarikh, means the sequence of events. As I have already told you all, chronicles or tawarikhs, they are the books which are written by the people at that time, and the books are written in the chronological form. As the events had happened, they are written one after another. So this tawarikhs written by Al-Biruni, Ziauddin Barani, Maulana Ahmad, Yahya bin Ahmad, Mirza Haidar, Bhimsen Saxena, etc. are available. So during the Mughal time period, the people who had written this tawarikh or tarikh, those books are available for us even today. So when we read this book, we come to know about the Mughal dynasty or about the Mughal time period. In similar manner, in Maratha time period, that is during the medieval period, that is the time of the Shivaji Maharaj, there are books written by some of the people and they are known as Bakhar. So Bakhar is a type of chronicle that originated in Maharashtra. Chronicles helps in understanding aspects like the contemporary political happening. Contemporary is at that time. So whatever political things, whatever political issues had happened at that time, they are written and kept in this Bakhars. Linguistic transaction, whatever the language transaction or the change between the language or different language which was used by the people, so that are also mentioned in this Bakhar. Cultural life, what type of life was people's life was, what festivals were celebrated by the people, how they used to enjoy their life, how they used to lead their life, social condition, tradition, custom. So all these things are mentioned in this Bakhars at the time of medieval period. Many of the chronicles in Marathi were written many years after the events had occurred. But then what had happened, these chronicles or these bakhars which are written, some of them are written after many years after it had happened. So what happened now, if, for example, if when we are present in particular function, and if suppose you are told to describe that function just one day after you have attended it, it becomes easy for us to remember. But then maybe after 1 month, if somebody is asking you about that function, it happens that we forget about it. Some things are forgotten, and same thing had happened here, that the chronicles, as they were written after a long time period, that is why it has become difficult to rely on the things which are written. So we don't know whether they are really the things which are written, they are true, or maybe some things are false out of it. As a result, they are seen to rely on hearsays. Hearsays means rumors, like listening to the things and then writing about it. Now, for example, we are listening the stories and then we are writing about it. So they are known as hearsays. Some of these chronicles are महिकावतीची बखर, सभासद बखर, चिटणीसांची बखर, भाऊसाहेबांची बखर, etc. So all these are the bakhars, or all these are the books which are written at the time period medieval history. The works of the contemporary Western historian like Robert Arm, M.C. Sprengel and Grant Duff are also important. So there were many Western historians, those who have visited India, and even they have written about Indian people in their books. So they are also telling us about the Indian people. So all this was about the written sources. Now let's move towards the oral sources. Now in oral sources, we are going to see about folk songs. Now what are folk songs? Folk songs are the traditional songs which are sung at the time of wedding. Usually when we are visiting our native place or maybe the village areas, there people are singing the song at the time of the wedding, or if there is any occasion, or if there is any season. So in this time the people are singing the song, they are known as folk songs. Gathas. Gathas are the form of stories which are told from one generation to another. Shlokas. Shlokas are the couplets of the Sanskrit verse. The Sanskrit verse, or the Sanskrit language, in Sanskrit language, whatever the inspiring things are being written, they are explained and they are known as shlokas. Abhangas. Abhangas are the form of devotional poetry sung in the praise of God. So where they are singing in order to praise the God. Then we have myths and legends. Myths and legends are also a form of stories. Then next is proverbs. Now proverbs, in your English you have studied about proverbs, like example, stitch in time saves 9, or every cloud has a silver lining. So there are many such proverbs. So even in Marathi time period there were such proverbs which were used. And the last one is povadas. Povadas were the kind of songs which were written in an exciting style and narrated historically events in an inspiring way. So the things which had happened, like for example, if Shivaji Maharaj has done something, so that was written in a inspiring way, or it was written in a poetic form, and that is known as povadas. Example of this povada is given in your textbook on page number 3, the povada of Tanaji, which is given. So you can read that and you can go through it, so you will understand what is povada. We understand various aspects of folk life through folk literature, traditionally passed on from generation to generation. So as I said, folk tales are the stories or the songs which are sung by the people from one generation to another generation, and they are in the oral form, not in the written form. So the stories are being told from our ancestor, from our grandparents to us, or maybe to our parents, and also they are passed on from generation to generation. Some examples are ovis, folk songs, povadas, folk tales, legends and myths. Such type of sources are called oral sources of history. Now, as we have studied about the written sources and oral sources, now let us see about the history is written with the help of 3 types of sources mentioned above. So already we had seen about the material sources, written sources and oral sources. Even after it has been written down, research on it goes on continuously. So history is not that okay, it is written so it has been stopped. It is not like that. Still there are lots of research which are going on and which tells us more and more about history. So thus there is continuous research which is going on. New sources are and information come to light through this research. So as the people, the historian, those who are learning about history, as they are conducting the research, every day they are putting some or the other information related to history, and they are bringing some or the other new information related to history through their research. Then history has to be rewritten accordingly. So as there is a new thing which comes up, or there is a research which is done from which we come to know about history, so they have to rewrite it. They have to write the events again and again as they are getting the new proofs or new ideas related to history. We can see that our history books and those of our parents and grandparents differ to a certain extent. Now maybe when we are studying, maybe your parents or your grandparents, if they take your study, they must have told you that when they had studied history, their books were different, and now your books are different. You have many pictures, many colorful photographs in your book. So maybe they must be telling you all that when they had studied history, they were not having so many pictures. So now these pictures are available for us, and because of which their books and our book are very much different. Now let's see about the evaluating the sources of history. It is necessary to take certain precautions before using the sources of history. Now when we are studying about history, or when we are getting the information, it is very important to see or to check whatever we have got the information, whether it is right or wrong. So it is necessary to take certain precautions. We have to examine their authenticity. Authenticity is originality, and see which are genuine and which are fake. So when we are getting any information, we need to check whether they are real, whether they are original, and whether they are genuine or whether they are fake, whether they are real or fake. Their quality can be determined with the help of internal standards. So the quality of this particular history can be determined or understood by what is written in that book. We also have to study the integrity of the writer, their personal interest, the period in which they live, and the political pressure on them. So if suppose there is a writer who is writing about history, we need to check that how much that writer is interested, how much that he is, in which time period he was born, how much he know about history, whether it is it had happened that people have told him about history and he has written, in which time period he had written the history. So all this is very important when the person is writing about history. It is also important to see whether they rely on hearsay or give an eyewitness account. So as I said, it is important to know whether it is hearsay. Now for example, if I am born in 90s time period and if I am writing the history of 80s time period, so how will I know about it? If somebody has told me, or whether I have read the books and I have conducted a research. So accordingly, whether they have heard the history from someone or they have really gone through the history, they have really some proof they have, and accordingly they are writing history. So we need to check about this. We need to consider the exaggeration. Exaggeration is the overstatement. Whatever is there, they are not showing the reality, but they are trying to show the reality with lots of better way or in very good manner. So that is exaggeration. Or metaphor. Metaphor is to compare or to correlate the things with some other. So thus the historians, the writers, they are putting their own ideas and they are trying to show something in a better way, and other literary devices are being used. Their information has to be verified with the help of other contemporary sources. So the information which we are getting through history need to be verified, need to be checked from the other available sources of that time period. The information may be one-sided. So the information can be one-sided. Maybe I don't know what had actually happened, so I will know only what I have heard. So it can be one-sided. contradictory. It can be contradictory. Whatever I am writing and whatever other person had written about history, it can be different. So it can be contradictory or exaggerated, or it can be something more good than the other person. It has to be seen in a proper perspective. So we need to see whether the history which is written, whether it is in a proper way, it is really matching the history which is available or which had actually happened. The sources have to be subjected to a critical analysis. So the sources of history which are available, they have to be critically analyzed. They need to be studied or checked, and only then we can say, or we can depend on the history which is available. The author's impartiality and neutrality are very important in writing history. The author who is writing history, his impartiality, he should not be partial, or he should not be into the favor of any person. He should be impartial. There should be no favorism. And even the neutrality, he should be neutral while writing the history, and which is very important while writing history. So from this lesson today we had studied about the written sources and oral sources. I hope you have understood the lesson. The written notes of this lesson I will be sending through WhatsApp group. Thank you.